All right, let's get started. Welcome everybody. Thanks for joining us in essentially this Hacker Hangout slash Q&A. Today's guest, as you can see, is we got the guys over from ZK Sync. So I'll let them give them an intro in a little bit. But for those of you that haven't or that have been or have or haven't been keeping track of what's the bug bounties that have been released. They released their bug bounty a few weeks back. Currently at they had their maximum for criticals at 2.1 million. This was back in March. But want to bring them on just to answer a few questions, have you guys get a ask your own questions and also get to know the project and what they're trying to do, essentially, and what they're looking for in the bug bounty as well. So I'd like to welcome both Vlad and ML to the stage. We also have Alejandro from Immunify to help out with some of the technical questions. So for you guys or for the ZK Sync team, if one of you guys want to give a quick intro in terms of the project, and as well as some of your expectations in the from the bounty program. Oops. Oops, Vlad. I don't know if you're muted or not muted.
Could you hear me?
Oh, yeah,
No?
we got you now.
Okay, so I just introduced myself and repeat it one more time. My name is Vlad. I'm working on ZK Sync for free storage development, mostly Layer 1 smart contract, but also Layer 2 smart contracts and also other different stuff. Milad, could you introduce yourself?
Yes, hello guys, I'm Milad, and I work in the testing as a smart contract security engineer mostly. And yeah, that's it.
Awesome. And then, like I said, for those of you that don't know, we also have Alejandro on the call from Immunify. Alejandro, if you just want to say a few things just to intro yourself, that'd be good.
Yeah, sure. Hey guys, I'm Alejandro from Immunify. I'm a smart contract triager and engineer. And I will definitely defer any super technical questions to the experts here. CK syncs are really complicated but very interesting. And these guys have a lot more knowledge than I do.
Nice. Thanks, Alejandro. Cool. So I guess let's get started. I think one of the cool things that would love to um, this display also is, or actually disclose is, so ZK Sync is going to be joining us for a hacking contest. So this is, I guess, some alpha knowledge here for those of you that are listening. So they're joining us for the off the chain hacking contest. So it's cool too because they're also increasing the bounty by 20%. So that's an extra 420K added to the current bounty that's up on the bug bounty page right now. So that would be awesome. That's a plus to the community, and as well as the contest. So we're still building out the contest. We'll put a little bit more of a some yeah Pwn to own. There you go. Thanks, Ivan. And so we'll post a few more details up on our socials as well. But that's a plus here. Something that you guys heard here first. So it'll be a fun event. So Ivan linked in the event channel to the event. So we'd love to see some of you guys out there or participating if you can. But yeah, I mean, I guess back to the ZK Sync team. Again, would love to have you guys run through a little bit about your bug bounty in terms of what you guys are expecting. Is there any specific assets in scope that are that people, some of the white hats here in the community should focus on? Any specific assets in scope that are a specific interest, or any exploits that you guys are specifically looking for? We'd love to turn it over to you guys to talk a little bit more about your bug bounty program.
Yeah, for sure. But I think that firstly we can introduce the project, and to avoid any confusion, we have two versions of ZK Sync. The first one is deployed on Ethereum mainnet, and it's included into the bug bounty program. As this version of ZK Sync is special purpose ZK rollup. That means that only limited kind of things are permitted on the network, like transfer, ERC20, Ether, swaps, and NFTs as well. And second version of ZK Sync is Turing complete EVM compatible ZK rollup. Currently, it's on development and not included in the bug bounty program, so we will not cover that on the call, just to avoid confusion. And regarding the ZK Sync 1.0, I would say the basic idea of ZK Sync is making separate blockchain that committed state to the Ethereum as master chain. But what is important that all computation inside ZK Sync won't be committed to layer 1. Like only final state and data that needed to restore the state will be committed. Like similar to the Ethereum, there is sequencer that collects transactions, create blocks, and apply these blocks to the current state of the network. And resulting of such execution will be a state transition that should be applied to the blockchain. So that being said, that sequencer can create state transition. Especially for ZK rollup, it means that sequencer create commitment to such state transition and push this commitment into layer 1 smart contract. Yeah, and the most tricky part there is what will happen if sequencer is malicious. Like different protocols solve this problem in different ways. Like to avoid any trust of honesty of the sequencer, we use technologies that called zero knowledge proof. That's where ZK in ZK Sync came from. So there are different type of ZK actually. We are using ZK snark, or zero knowledge 16th non-interactive argument of knowledge. And that what's really interesting in snarks that it's not only work with zero knowledge property, but also with 16 property. That means that you can create proof for the a lot of computation, but this proof will be really small, and the checking this proof on chain will be really really easy to verify. So yeah, so here we are. And any questions so far?
We had one question right here from Mohammed, not specifically to the intro, but wanted to see if you can give a TLDR version of what a ZK snark circuit is. As he understands it, it's a mathematical proof. So technically, there wouldn't be a bug in it if he's thinking correctly. So he just wants to see if you guys can give a quick rundown of a ZK snark circuit.
I think you have to
Oops. Oh
bring him back up on stage.
no.
Yep,
Yeah.
there we
Yeah. I just gotta
Yeah,
just noticed that he was
sorry,
off. There
I
you go.
just had some problem with my computer.
Oh, it's all good.
So, really good question. So, what is ZK Snark circuit is? It's actually a program that written specifically for ZK Snark proof system. What that means? That program was written in a specific way and change it for the specific for the specific property of snarks to be verified later on. So there are like no technically limitation of what computation can be done in this circuit program, but there are some like hardness question how to do different computation on it. So for instance, hash functions like SHA or Kichak will be hard to computate on circuit, but other different hash functions can be computed really easy. Milad, could you add also?
Yeah, just I want to add about the end of the question that Mohammed said that there wouldn't be a bug in there, right? So yeah, it cannot actually a good, correct assumption, I think, because the bug can be in everywhere. And as you know, there was a report recently by Trail of Beats about the frozen heart vulnerability in Pelag. It's somehow showing that there are some bugs in these complicated mathematics. I have attached the link. So I think this is not a correct assumption that since it is a mathematical proof, so there is no bug in that.
Cool. And then we also saw that you threw the link to the vulnerability, the Trail of Bits link in the event channel chat. But also want to open the floor again, guys. Like for everyone that's listening, yeah, the floor is yours. So please ask questions. Try and get to know the project. It's definitely a good place to see if you can get some alpha in terms of the bug bounty side of things. You can get as technical as you want with these questions. I guess we got two questions here for you guys, which is what is ZK Sync's business model? How do you guys make profit? And what is the bug bounty backed by? How can the hunters be assured that they will get paid? Oops, Vlad, I think you're having audio issues again.
Was that a question for Immunify or for ZK Sync?
Oh, that's a good point. Ezra, can you clarify if that's a question for Immunify or ZK Sync? Okay, got you. So okay, cool. For Vlad, so essentially, what Ezra wants to know from your end is what's your business model and how do you make profit for ZK
Okay.
Sync?
Yeah, I see. So, like, we have the same business model as other layer 2 have. So, the basic concept of that is that user should pay for all transaction that was made on layer 2 inside. And that means if you want to use ZK Sync, you should pay some fee that was actually really small, but it covers the all costs that sequencer should do with proof and all costs that sequencer should use for sending transaction on chain. So actually users, ZK Sync users will cover that cost, and it's our business model.
Got you, got you. That makes sense. So for the second question, which I know you asked, which was what is the bug bounty backed by and how? Ooh, okay, thanks, Ivan, for that link. Ivan, can I bring you up to talk about the second part of the question in terms of how the hunters can rest assured that they'll essentially get paid? I invited you up to the stage, so let me know if you have any issues there. Just want to see if you can spend like 2 minutes to talk about that, or not. Because I don't want to, I guess, put any information out there that's not accurate. Um, but in terms of what I am familiar with, at least from my role here, the bug bounty, or at least for the hunters, there is an agreement. Essentially, when you sign up to the platform, there's agreement on the Immunify side where essentially Immunify tries to take care of the hackers or the hunters in general to make sure that they get paid and the exploits are verifiable. Again, most of the criticals in high require proof of concepts. So this also includes both the website, web apps, as well as the smart contract side. Um, but essentially, Immunify is there. Immunify is here to essentially take care of and go between the projects and the hackers, essentially facilitating both transactions, like I said, proof of concepts, any solutions to the issues. So that's one of the things that I wanted to, kind of disclose. Ivan, if you want to, add more information, that's kind of a little bit out of
Yeah,
I kind of don't have too
thank you,
much
Chris.
insight there.
Hey, everybody. I hope everyone's doing great. I think you explained it quite well there, Chris. We're essentially the middleman between the projects and the hackers, right? So for us, it's incredibly important to be able to provide these trust assurances to hackers. If we see that there are projects that are trying to go around or that are trying to decrease the severity of the vulnerability for whatever reason, and we see that it's not valid, then we have the right to go public with this information and projects do not want that, right? Projects don't want to be called out for screwing over white hats, right? Previously, before, when projects were hosting bug bounties on their own, they could very easily turn around and say, oh, this vulnerability is out of scope, or hey, this isn't really a critical vulnerability, this is actually a high or a medium, and the white hat just had to go with what they said, right? Kind of take their word for it. Whereas now, they have to. We are there to ensure that, one, the vulnerability is actually valid, and if it is valid, we ensure that the payment is made out. And we have other initiatives in place, like we have the wall of shame that should be coming out really soon, where if there's any projects that are bad actors by not paying or by trying to go around white hats, and we will publicly, I guess, shame them. We'll have a wall of shame for that, and I think projects are going to want to avoid that. And then conversely, we're also, going to be celebrating projects that do the right thing, right? So yeah, for us, it's the utmost importance to provide these trust assurance to you guys, and yeah, if there's ever anything, like any instance where that's not happening, where you're getting screwed, where you feel like you're getting screwed over, we're here to help you. So please, bring those problems to us, and we're here to help.
Awesome.
Yeah,
Thanks for that,
and
Evan.
sorry,
Go ahead, Vlad.
we are really worried about the security of the system, and at the moment, we already paid several bug bounties, and we are well aware that if you can offend a white hacker, then a black hat may be born. So, and we really appreciate the work of white hat community. So
Awesome. I got one question to which is by Immunify Wife, who want to know if ZK Sync is planning to launch a token in the future, similar to some of the other layer 2 scaling solutions, mainly specifically Optimism.
yes, we have such plans, and it actually described it in our website that ZK Syncs really need token, and that's because not just governance purpose of the token, but really it's needed for decentralization. So hopefully it will be.
Nice. Do you have a timeline for that, or is that still up in the air in terms of, I guess, launch timing?
No comments.
Okay. I'll take that as no comment. Also, before we move on, I know we're kind of coming up on like almost the 30-minute mark. So just want to let you guys know that there is a POAP for the event. So if you would like one, please shoot me a DM. I will go ahead and post it up in the. I'll also post up a QR code in a minute. But again, another question from Mohammed for the ZK Sync team is, in reference to hunting for bugs, is only wallet.zksync.io under scope? What about other subdomains? If there are any, are they also in scope?
Yeah, so I think that we can continue with describing ZK Sync architecture, and I would say that for those who are familiar with optimistic rollups, there's one big difference between us and them. And in ZK Sync, there are no window for fraud proof. Instead, we use ZK proof that means that after publishing the proof, state is finished. And for users, it means that they don't need to wait a long time, challenge period, and etc. Of course, there is time between submitting transaction, collection transaction into block by sequencer and making proof, but it's much less and it calculates in hours, not days. So, and regarding the system itself, there are several type of operations, transactions in zk-sync that user can use. And first of all, it's deposit, the no-native assets on zk-sync. So fund should be deposited first to start making transfer or swaps on other operation. And such operation is supported by layer 1 smart contract. Technically, it consists of two parts. First is layer 1 interaction that user calls deposit function on zk-sync smart contract and log funcer. And second part of deposit is layer 2 transaction. Basically, sequencer should include transaction in one of layer 2 block. And for sure, there is also an inverse operation that called withdrawal. And it also consists of two parts. First one is burning money on layer 2, and second one is unlocking funds on layer 1. So is the base operations of zk-sync that you can use. And as I said, the difference between usual computation and zk circuit computation. So the other important type of transactions that we have is change public key. So account inside zk-sync consists on address as on Ethereum, nonce and other technical stuff that accounts should need to operate, and specific Zk-friendly public key to interact with account. So address is the same as in Ethereum. Nonce also has the same property, but opposite to the Ethereum, node address is used to authorization of transactions. So I mean, for checking the signature, we use other public key cryptography. So, in other words, signature provided by Ethereum private key is not acceptable by zk-sync. Instead, user can create new private key or use one from Ethereum and use this private key for signing transaction on zk-sync network. And for setting this public key, user need to call special transaction that has been changed public key. So there no limitation how many times account can change public key. And every time when change public key is called on Ethereum, signature from private key of account should be provided for authorization. And this signature should be checked inside layer 1 smart contract. Also, there is simple transaction type as transfer that is executed inside layer 2 and without special interaction with layer 1. The same applies for minting NFTs and swaps. Swaps inside zk-sync work as order book. Yeah. Do we have question?
Hey guys, just trying to see if you guys have any other questions in regards to what Vlad just spoke about. Mohammed, hopefully that answers your question. if you have a follow up, feel free to post it in there. Also to the community, if you guys have any more questions for the team at ZK Sync, throw them up in the. You guys know the drill. Throw them up in the event channel, or free to come on stage if you want to, and we will go ahead and answer them. But also, I just threw up the preview to the POAP. Shoot me a DM to claim it. Also, in the meantime, if you guys already know, since most of you here, I'm pretty sure you guys follow us on our socials. Do follow the ZK Sync team as well. I'll throw up their Twitter account as well. It'll be good to follow those guys, especially for any updates and things that they're currently working on. Especially one of the big major things that we all run into, or at least working for those that work specifically in the Ethereum side of things, is essentially layer 2, and scaling is a uh, big project to undertake. And it's also something that the community is really looking forward to. So hopefully, ZK Sync was one of the ones that I've specifically taken a look at, and have an interest in. Would definitely rooting for you guys to succeed and do some good things. I know there's a few other ones that everybody's familiar with, like Arbitrum, Optimism. You got Polygon as a side chain, that's been taking off. So it definitely seems as if it's a layer 2 seems to be a good functional layer 2 that essentially, like ZK Sync, is right around the corner. Got another question for the ZK Sync team is, has ZK Sync been audited prior to launching their bug bounty on Immunify? Have you guys gone through any audits yet? I'm pretty sure you guys have, but would love to see if you guys can push some more information about that.
Yeah, of course we have audited smart contracts before submit them to the Immunify. So we are trying to audit smart contracts every time where we update smart contracts on layer 1. And currently we have audit from ABDK for last version of the KeySync.
Got you. And then, yeah, no worries, Pangolin. So another question is, can you describe how, essentially, what the main differences between ZK Sync, um, and Harmony One, specifically on the scalability side? And this was a question from Pangolin. I don't know, Vlad. You're muted, so I don't know if you're trying to explain that.
What's the question?
The question was, what is the difference between ZK Sync and Harmony One, specifically on the scalability side?
Okay. It's hard to say for now. I'm not really familiar with Harmony One, so I can't actually answer this question. Maybe Milad?
No, actually, the same. I'm not very familiar with Harmony One, so I do not have any comment regarding that.
But I think that maybe a difference is that ZK-Sync is special purpose application, and I'm not sure about Harmony One. So in ZK-Sync, you can make transfer, you can do swaps, you can mint NFT if you want, but there are no Turing complete computation yet.
Awesome. I know that doesn't uh, answer your question directly, but hopefully that kind of gives you a lead in terms of what to look, or in terms of where to kind of search for that information. So it seems as if didn't have too much insight in terms of Harmony One. Um, so his follow up question. Okay, cool. So this might give him. He said this follow up question might give him an idea of the difference between the two. So he wanted to know what about in regards to the transactions, the benefit in comparison to Ethereum.
It's also a really good question, and currently we have stable load of 2 or 3 TPS, but of course it's not the limit of our system. So as I remember, I may be wrong, but we have for 1 hour like 40 transactions per second, and actually we don't have like load test for the system to challenge maximum amount of transaction and capacity for that, but it seems that scalability is a lot better than Ethereum has.
Got you. Cool. I don't know, Pangolin, if that answers your question. I know you were asking specifically in terms of like the speed. Is it the speed of transactions? I don't know if you want to clarify that, if I'm transcribing your question correctly.
So regarding the speed, if it's how fast transaction is confirmed, in zkSync we have 2 different confirmation type. First one is confirmation from the sequencer. It's like soft confirmation. And second one is hard confirmation from the Ethereum. And to take the hard confirmation from the Ethereum, sequencer should create zero knowledge proof. And it takes time. In practice, it's 3 or 5 hours currently. Also, it depends on load on the network. So if load is bigger, the more transaction we can collect and the faster we will prove for the block. We make proof for the block.
Yeah, Pangolin, hopefully that answers some of your questions. I don't know if that clarifies or answers that. No, it's fine. It's all good. That's what this is for. You know how this rolls. I've seen you. You've been in the past hangouts and Q&As, so you know how this goes. So it's all good to ask these questions. Vlad, so we got another question in the event channel. So this specific, so Mohammed's asking about a specific upgrade. So the link is in event channel. This is the one that looks like from February 28th of this year of 2022. He assumes that it's completely implemented. And wants to know if the bug bounty extends to this upgrade and previous contracts as well.
So actually, yes, it's last version of smart contracts, and on bug bounty program, every time only last version of contracts will be included into it. So currently it's version 8, but after we introduced new version of smart contracts, that will be changed.
Is there a timeline in terms of when you guys are introducing the new smart contracts?
Yeah, so We don't have information for the new version of smart contracts, but I would say that we have a window from the upgrade of smart contracts. So currently it's 3 weeks, and we can't make upgrade without it. Only we have security council staff. It's a group of people who can confirm upgrade instantly, but to do it, we need to get signature from this group of people. And if only the Ksync team will introduce upgrade, then it will be needed um, to wait for 3 weeks.
Okay, got you. Mohammed, hopefully that gives you an idea of some of the timeline as well. So we got another question. So someone that's new to the Web3 space, from what he sees on the website, is ZK Sync not based traditionally around smart? Whoa. Okay, hold on. Edited. Okay, so he says, they're asking, what is the difference between what ZK Sync uses and traditional smart contract infrastructure? Because you guys did mention that there is a new version of smart contracts. Want to know if that's something that you guys can answer before he starts digging into the docs. Oops, think Vlad, I see you're muting and unmuting, so
Uh,
oh, there you
I
go.
don't know.
Got you.
Okay, currently, is it working?
Yeah, I got you. Yeah,
So,
I got
sorry
you.
for that.
Yep.
So I said that when I spoke about version of the Kissing smart contract, I mean that actually the smart contract on Ethereum where information regarding zkSync blockchain state was stored. So zkSync team has ability to upgrade this smart contract, and that's why I use version for the contracts. But inside of zkSync, there are no layer 2 smart contracts.
Awesome. Thanks for that. Hopefully that answers your question. Cool. Yeah. So maybe possibly helpful to dive into some of the docs. If you have any additional questions, you could probably send them over to to Vlad, or the team in general. So Mohammed asked, can you recommend some resources or some more resources to learn more about ZK snarks in general? He wants to be able to brush up on that before attempting to essentially hunt bugs on the ZK Sync platform. So, you guys have any recommended resources for these guys to take a look into? Oh, there you go. So Vlad just threw that into the chat. So Mohammed, that resource is there for you to utilize.
Hope it will be useful.
I think so too.
So as well as smart contracts, also ZK circuits is included into the bounty program. And as we speak about zero knowledge, I could say that the
Oops. So I don't know, Vlad, if you were if you muted yourself, but I think you kind of lost you there.
So I'm speaking regarding ZK circuit. They was included into the bug bounty program as well, and there are a lot of interesting things in that kind of program. So there is resources to learn about zero knowledge, and you can try to read our circuits to learn more.
Awesome. Okay, cool. So we got two questions. Are there any specific areas? I'm sorry. If there are there any specific areas of interest in the ZK Snark circuit library for bug hunting purposes?
It's hard to say in one sentence. There are a lot of different problem when you're writing ZK circuits, but for me personally, it seems that mostly all fault is appeared when you don't assert some statements. So if something can be provided as input to the circuit and proof will be generated, and input of this proof will be, verified on layer one, and like false positive will appear, it can be really really bad, because in case of ZK Sync, sequencer can steal money, or in case of other circuits, some non true statement can be proven. So I think that it's really really often when some statements are not asserted.
Cool. That makes sense. And then we also have another one. Just want to know in general, if Ethereum switch to proof of stake affects the needs for layer 2 solutions.
Yeah, for sure. I think that currently with ZK 1.0, it's not so so interesting, yeah, but with ZK 2.0 that is on development, where smart contract can be developed inside layer 2, and other different stuff can be. It will like improve scalability on Ethereum in 100 times. So if you can do it, why not?
Awesome. And then we got someone that's still he's fairly new into learning Solidity, Viper, and ERC protocols. Actually, no, that question was answered above. So, or actually, no. So actually, no. So you want to know. So he's still learning about Solidity, Viper, and ERC protocols, and want to know if there are any other branches similar, or branches or projects similar to ZK Sync, that you guys recommend to look into, aside from ZK Snarks, whether it be technical or theoretical.
it's actually a lot easier to read smart contracts and try to hack it. And if you can't, that it's secured enough. I mean, only with practice and reading a lot of smart contracts, you can start building something secure. But also, I like, I like reading other smart contracts to understand how and why they works.
Awesome. I know we are coming up to the last 5 minutes of the allotted time. I know sometimes these usually go longer, but if you guys have any, okay, so another link was posted in terms of cross chain bridge hacks. That's actually a pretty good resources by ML. So if you guys have any more questions before we wrap this up, um, in the next 5 minutes, feel free to throw them in the event channel. Again, for POOPs, DM me. For those of you guys that have been listening, a preview of it is a little bit up in the chat. But if you want to claim a POOP, feel free to DM me, and I'll send you over a link. Again, follow Immunify on our socials. You know the drill. Our Twitter, Discord, Telegram, as well as our email list. Where to get you can always visit the Immunify website to see the most up-to-date bounties. Sort them by, the largest bounties or by amount. Follow ZK Sync on Twitter. Join up on them in their socials as well. And I guess Vlad, if you want to have any final words, I'll give you the floor for to if you want to close things out. But if not, Vlad if anybody has any additional questions, would it be all right for would DMing you on Discord be the best place to ask any more additional questions in regards to either the bug bounty program or ZK Sync in general?
I just say one last sentence.
Sure.
Happy hunting and thanks for coming.
Awesome. Awesome. And then Vlad, just to answer my question, would it be okay for some of these white hats and some of these hunters to be able to DM you on Discord to see if you can answer any questions about the bug bounty or the bounty program?
Yeah.
Awesome, cool. So if you guys want to, I'll throw Vlad's info in there. But if you want to throw, or if you want to, any questions, you can send Vlad a DM. If you have any questions, and so that's his Discord handle. If you guys have any questions about the bug bounty or ZK Sync in general, or just want more information, see where he can help or get more insight on that, you can shoot him a DM. Thank you, Vlad, for hopping on. Please, everybody, give Vlad or send Vlad a thank you in the chat. Vlad and ML, I know ML just hopped out, which is all good, but thank you for the ZK Sync team for actually coming out and answering these questions. Actually got some good hopefully you guys got some good information, and hopefully you guys can start securing ZK Sync. I think ZK Sync has a lot of potential in terms of the next stage of layer 2s and security. So appreciate you guys all for coming out as usual. keep an eye out for the next Hacker Hangout. It'll probably be a Hacker Hangout before we do another Q&A. Vlad, thank you again for coming out, and that wraps it up for today. So thank you guys again.
Thank you, Vlad. I'm excited for ZK Sync, and I'm excited to see the crazy reports you white hats submit.
Awesome. Likewise as well. So that wraps it up for the day. Appreciate you all for coming out, and see you on the next one.